This is Julie Murphy with Arizona Farm Bureau, and it's Friday. It's 10 o'clock, so it's talk to a farmer, talk to a rancher, talk to an extension agent. And today I have with me, because we're in Yavapai County, Caleb Miller. And is it fair for me to say you're in charge of Rangeland Management, that arena here for the extension?
Yes, for Yavapai County, I kind of run the range program here.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being willing to do this. I know sometimes with it, especially because it's Rangeland Management, you're all over the county.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a neat thing for you to be able to break away from that and talk to us. But what we're trying to do here, obviously, is go to the different county extensions. That means there's 15 county extensions, but they also have 2 tribal extensions, is the way I describe it. So we're only midway through this series. We're still going to continue this. And if you're curious as to what these county extensions do under the umbrella of the University of Arizona, you need to stick with us. We've got some fascinating stories here. We're interviewing some fascinating people that represent the different extensions and in all of their areas of specialty. If you're familiar with extension, you know extension does 4-H. It will do some health services for the community. There's some very typical and traditional rangeland management, especially for those counties that have a large cattle environment, so to speak. But each one of these extensions, Yavapai included, have their own unique, I want to say, maybe, is it fair to say, kind of a core competency, right?
Yeah, I would say rangeland management is a very important part of Yavapai County, considering how much public land we have and how much of that is rangeland.
So it's definitely a core competency, and Caleb, I'm glad you represent it. And one of my first questions to you is, tell us about you and your background.
So I went to U of A. At the time I was in a wildlife program, but my advisor kept putting me in range classes. And from there, my coworkers were like, hey, you want a job? So I started working with them in a lab. And then from there, I just have been range ever since. I did a little work for the Forest Service seasonally. Then I ended back up here in cooperative extension as a range monitor. And I just really grew to like extension and working with us. So I applied for assistant extension, and now I'm working to get my master's degree to become a full agent.
Oh, awesome. Okay, well, congratulations.
Oh,
it sounds like you're way on that right path, and it sounds like you're really liking working for extension.
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic. I love working here.
Okay. And it's not a desk job, I can tell.
Oh, no. I try to limit my office days as much as possible.
And I got an insights from your director, Matt Halderson. He just told me that 75% of Yavapai County's land is public land, whether that be BLM, tribal, state, or...
Probably the largest chunk of it is Forest Service,
okay,
and then followed by state. We have a little bit of BLM in the Agua Fria National Monument. But yeah, for the most part, it is state land and Forest Service land.
Tell us, you said one of the things is range monitoring. What exactly does that mean for all of us, the uninitiated, the uneducated in that area? What does that mean?
So what range monitoring is we go out and we try and determine how the vegetation is trending over time. So how frequently certain species occur in how that plant community, what it's composed of, and how that changes over time.
Okay.
It's not something that can be done in 2 or 3 years. This is something that we're looking across 5, 10, 15 years.
Oh, wow.
To see how the trend changes over time.
Okay. And I've noticed some kind of unique, interesting tools that you guys take. These big poles, and they're all the same size, but you're literally taking out, monitoring that special area on the rangeland to see what vegetation, and then you track all that. You record it, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Not that I could ever do it, but it sounds kind of complicated. So I have been asking everybody in extension the same question in your own words, not the mission statement that someone can read on the website, but in your own words, what do you think extension means and is to you?
To me, I think of extension as a way to make science and education a little more accessible to the people who want to better their operations.
Okay.
So, for example, I have ranchers that are always wanting to learn the new way of grazing management or how they can improve their land. And honestly, some scientific jargon is a little dense and difficult. So they contact their extension person, and we are more than happy to help them. And I think that is the true basic mission of extension.
So your office truly is the road. You're on the road all the time.
Yeah.
With what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And meeting with some of the ranchers, and a lot of times they're asking you specific questions as it relates to their ranges, as it relates to the grasses. Mm-hmm. Any interesting, unusual questions you've ever gotten from a rancher?
Most of them kind of fall into the line of how we can do weed control or seeding.
Mm.
That's the typical bread and butter, but I do get questions about how certain agencies view, like, for example, categorical exclusions. I try to help them with those. But
those are pretty important questions,
yeah.
Especially if I'm a rancher and I'm, covering. And I know that they want to make sure that they're taking care of their pastures, because all the ranchers I talk to, and also their native grasses.
Oh, yeah.
So that's probably what the seeding question is about, right? Yeah. Talk about your personal experiences working for Extension, like whether that be something that just recently occurred, or, I mean, maybe the day in the life of Caleb on behalf of Yavapai Extension.
So a typical day can be a little difficult. Typically, I break it into seasons.
Oh, okay.
So, for example, right now it's the fall. This is my field season. I'm often out with the ranchers doing that trend monitoring. And then winter is my report writing season. And so what's the point of all this data if we never use it, right? So I compile these reports, and then in the spring, we try to organize these meetings with the ranchers so that we could go over these reports and why this data, it matters to them, really. So that's the typical rotation. Summer, we usually try to get back into the field a bit. It's a little hot, but that happens.
So you're really out in the field right now, since it's the fall.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me, I don't know, several months ago I interviewed your boss, Matt, and it was on wine, because that's his background. So that, he clarified with me, is a little sliver of the big scope of everything you do with Rangeland Management. So again, for the uninitiated, for somebody that hasn't pursued that, but they're looking at this video, talk about what exactly that means as a core competency for Yavapai County, just because 75% of your land is public land.
So Rangeland Management is basically how we manage these certain lands. And typically, a range is defined by its inability to be used for typical agriculture, like crops and farming.
Sure.
So it can be a little more difficult to manage it, which is why it's managed with mainly grazing and fire, right? So, and since these are our public spaces, it's not just important for the ranchers, but also the general community to be a part of it. Yeah.
So because of that, then I'm always going to default to the rancher side of it. Being with Arizona Farm Bureau, I'm thinking farmers and ranchers. The one thing that we are remiss in not realizing that you are trying to be responsible for is even just that forest management. Are we taking care of our forests so that we don't have these explosive fires? So that's part of it as well. Okay. And there's a lot of territory to cover. You can say that metaphorically, but literally being on the road like you are, there's a lot of territory to cover.
Oh, yeah.
Do you ever feel like this is going to be difficult to keep up with it, but I can? I mean, how do you approach that when you look at everywhere you need to be and all the things that you need to do?
Well, I always think of the old adage of what's the best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time, right?
Oh, good.
So
yeah, that's my favorite analogy.
Right. It's a good one. So it can be intimidating sometimes, but usually I like to break down my tasks, and I'm a big fan of Post-it notes. I write down what I need to do this week, what can wait until later in the month, what I need to do today, and I just take chunks out of it, and eventually it all falls into place. As long as you stay on top of things and keep working hard, That's usually my philosophy with it.
It's a good philosophy. You don't look at the whole elephant. You've got to remind yourself, I got to approach this one bite at a time.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I tell that to myself always. I've been asking this question also to everybody I've been interviewing. Mm-hmm. Is there an experience or a situation working for Extension that for you was very inspiring? That at the conclusion of whatever that experience was, you were able to say, wow, I'm glad I work for Extension.
Yes. There was a point where I volunteered my time to go help with a FFA team that was that needed a range coach. So I went over and I taught them about plant ID and how utilization works. And I had a very short window of time to coach them before state, and they ended up taking second place. Oh, wow. And it kind of surprised me with how rewarding it felt to teach somebody and have them use it and better themselves as well. I thought it was very rewarding.
And to place.
Teach. Yeah, and to place as well. Yeah, I was shocked. So that stands out as one of the most inspiring moments for me. But honestly, there's just little moments around like just doing workshops and interacting with ranchers and seeing people want to learn and then apply that knowledge, that there's all these little moments that build up to really inspire me to continue in my work.
That's awesome. So now you had started kind of with a wildlife focus. With all the traveling do you get to run into wildlife at all?
Oh, all the time. There's tons of wildlife all over the range. It's not uncommon to be bumping through a ponderosa forest and just see a herd of like 80 elk running through. Yeah. Also, there's the pronghorn that are all over the Chino Valley and Paulden area. It's great to see all the wildlife out there.
So that you didn't have to leave it. You just diverted your studies a little bit. So,
exactly.
Yeah. Well, and while coming here and talking to your boss, I got to learn a little bit more about that 3 Forest Monitoring Agreement project. Can you speak to that again so that our listeners understand it a little bit more? I got a crash course in it just before talking to you. So
the 3 Forest Monitoring Program began as a way for us to collaboratively monitor with the Forest Service, specifically the Kaibab, Coconino, and Prescott National Forests. And what it does is we work together to go out to their lands, and this is important for Yavapai County because so much of us are Forest Service. And the idea is we also get these ranchers out there with us, and we can kind of build relationships that way, because sometimes ranchers and Forest Service don't agree on how their stuff is managed. But this is a good way to build relationships. I've seen a lot of positive things come from this program. It also gives us an opportunity to all look at the same thing, voice our opinions on it, and then move forward with a solution if we need to. I think it's one of the most successful programs we've had in this county.
Oh, wow. And my vibe, again, learning just how Extension places itself in the midst of these key stakeholders, that you come out with an unbiased approach and you facilitate. It's kind of a kumbaya moment in some ways.
Oh, yeah. It's. I think a big part of Extension is we really try to be that unbiased third party. We are part of a university, right? So we want to be driven by the facts, driven by science. We don't want to push any way. We call the shots how we see it.
Right. Awesome. Well, I'm kind of wrapping it up here, but what can your stakeholders, audiences, and community in general expect in the future from Yavapai County Extension from your perspective?
From my perspective, currently I'm just trying to focus on keeping the monitoring program going. It's a great program. We've seen a lot of success with it. Got to keep a good thing going. I have been looking forward to a lot of things with native grass and native plant seeds to see if we can start a phenology program or developing a seed bank that way. I know our livestock person, Katie, she does a lot with AI clinics, and she's going to have a livestock basics course coming up.
And AI clinics is not artificial intelligence.
Not artificial intelligence.
Artificial insemination.
Yes.
Just for clarification, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love the idea of seed banks for native grasses. And so you guys want to expand on that a little bit if the opportunity presents itself.
Yes, because like I said, a lot of the questions I get are based off of seeding, and I've been talking to some people. They'll buy seed from Idaho or something because that's mainly the people who sell it, and it won't be as viable down here because it's not grown and cultivated in our climate, in our precipitation. So I was wondering, and this is bare thoughts. I'm still investigating this quite a bit to see if there's a way to start creating new cultivars or like starting these new seeding programs. They're already doing something very similar down in Tucson with the experiment station. So I think that would be a very interesting thing to see if how it works in these higher elevation
Very
areas.
cool. If you have a forum here and people come on live, most of them see it afterwards. If somebody that's not taken advantage of all of the services provided through extension, and you have this opportunity to tell them, hey, you need to exploit it. You need to recognize that Yavapai County Extension exists.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you going to say? Pretend you're at the podium and you're talking to thousands of people.
Oh.
I'm not trying to make you nervous.
Oh, no worries. I would just reach out any way you can. We have a website under the U of A, Yavapai County Extension. Just click on our office, and there's tons of links to our emails and stuff like that. Reach out to us over email. We have tons of agents who are more than happy to help. Or you could even just walk into our office and talk to us, and we're happy to help. We're part of the community, and we're here for y'all.
That's awesome. And I would imagine if I'm a new rancher up here, or maybe I'm the third or fourth generation from a family, and I haven't really taken advantage of Yavapai, I could reach out to you, Caleb, and say, hey, can you come out to the lands that I manage and tell me what I should be doing better?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm more than happy to do field and site visits. That's kind of my favorite thing to do. That's why I got into this position.
Awesome. Caleb, I really appreciate you hanging out with us.
Oh, of course.
And we'll continue this. We'll share it with you when we put it up on azfb.org, but keep doing what you're doing, and thank you for everything you do for University of Arizona's Extension Services.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for giving me some time to talk.
Awesome. Thanks.